Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's topic, as you've seen below, is how to apply for child maintenance at the maintenance court. All right, so if you have children under the age of 18, you should actually apply for child maintenance if the father of the child is not financially supporting the child or children. So who can approach a maintenance court? Anybody can. But most preferably, if the mother is still alive, then the biological mother of that child should actually approach the maintenance court. I know another follow-up question would be, if the father of the child is paying maintenance money but it is not enough, do I then have the right to approach the maintenance court? Yes, you do. As long as there is a duty to support and you feel like the money is not enough, you can go to the maintenance court. You will not be turned away. All right, justice will prevail and the best interests of the child come first. All right, so how to apply for child maintenance? Basically, there is a form that you need to complete. That form, you must complete your details. They will need your ID number, your full names, where you reside and where you work, and the nearest police station to you. They will also need the details of the father or alleged father. They will need his ID number, his full names, where he resides or where he works, and his nearest police station if you do know it. All right, then the second page, basically you will inform the court why you think or why you believe that this child should be maintained, if I'm not mistaken, or why the child is in your care. Basically, I mean, you are the biological mother of the child, and you have to state the date or year when the alleged father or mother last supported the child. So if the child is, let's say, 13 years old and the parent hasn't supported that child for 13 years, then you can write there, since birth they have not supported the child financially, and then you list out the things that they haven't contributed to, such as education, food, clothing, extracurricular activities, uniform, all of those things. Then you will write the name of the child, the date of birth, and how much you are requesting for as maintenance, and any other additional things that you want the father to contribute. For example, if you want the father to include the child in the medical aid, in his medical aid, then you can write at the bottom to include the following contributions: medical aid, buy clothes for the child twice a year. So the court only recognize 2 seasons of the year. Okay, so they only recognize 2 seasons of the year, that is winter and summer. So you can't put in clothes for autumn and spring. You have to write summer or winter. That's how it is. Then the following page, you will then write your assets, if you have any assets. If you are employed, you will write your income, your expenses, and your net income. So basically that first portion, you just have to write what appears from your payslip. Then you can write there your tax, your UIF, and what else? Other people, people have different deductions, and then you write your net income. If you do have additional income other than your salary, there is a small portion where you write that down. Other people can have additional income, such as selling clothes, or they have a property that they're renting out, or they have an Uber or Bolt business that they're doing on the side apart from their salary. So you have to disclose, you actually have to provide full financial disclosure. Then the rest of the columns, you will see, you will have to write how much your bond is, rent is, your groceries, and your household expenses. You will actually see a portion for yourself and actually for the children. So the portion for yourself, the court wants to see how much you actually spend on yourself and how much you actually spend on the child, and the total altogether. So you complete that. And the list of documentation that must support this maintenance application is a certified copy of your ID. It must be certified. And you must have a certified copy of the child's birth certificate. Okay, even if the father of the child does not appear, his name doesn't appear on the birth certificate, that is fine. as long as you have certified it. If you have lost the birth certificate, you have to go to Home Affairs to get a reprint, please. As many courts don't just merely accept a copy. You must have the original, and you must actually have it. You must have a copy certified. Yes, so it's your ID and the child's birth certificate. Then following that, if you are employed, you have to provide the court with at least 3 months of your pay slips. Other courts, they differ. They want 6 months of pay slips and your latest 3 months bank statements, or 3 months or 6 months bank statements, your latest ones. The court doesn't want your 2017, 2018, 2019 bank statements or your 2020 bank statements. It does not make financial sense. The court needs to see your financial standing as is. So for this year, we are in December. So if they want 6 months worth of your bank statements and pay slips, you will provide from June onwards. Okay, so it's full financial disclosure. Maintenance court is about full financial disclosure. If you are not prepared to provide your pay slips and your bank statements, then I'm telling you, you will not proceed. Your maintenance application will not proceed. You will actually go nowhere. And another thing, the other party must have your documents, which I'm going to explain in another video, the process after you've actually applied for maintenance. So you've completed your form, you have your certified copies of your birth certificates and ID, you have your 3 months bank statements, pay slips. You must then add your expenditure documentation. What I mean by that, if you have grocery slips to show how much you actually buy for groceries, that is fine. Put that in there. The court also wants to see the school fees statement. So if you are alleging that the school fees of your child is 1,500 Rand, you must have supporting documentation. You cannot just pick up amounts from your head, put them in there. It does not work like that. Hence, you have to provide full financial disclosure. Other people, they swipe, so it appears in their bank statements. That is fine. You can just make sure that you highlight it. But I don't know a school that doesn't provide statements. So if it's a fee-paying school, obviously every month they're going to give you statements, or at the beginning of the year they're going to give you a breakdown of the school fees. Okay. And what else? Another thing, if you're buying stationery clothes, keep those slips. Actually, just take a photo and save it on your drive. Like, we are so technologically advanced that we can actually keep things digitally. So if you don't want to lose that slip, just take a picture, save it on your drive, or actually email it to yourself, because sometimes phones get stolen, drives, I don't know what happens, hackers. So I always save my things on email. So actually just email yourself the stuff. Email yourself the slips, email everything to yourself so that you can have documentary proof. So with the supporting documentation, that is your expenditure, it doesn't need to be certified. It's copies, so it's fine. Bank statements as well. I mean, you can just go to the ATM, have a printout, and those are the originals. You don't have to certify them, but it is very important that you certify proof of identification. Also, there's a form that the court gives you called the SEFTA form, which you need to take to the bank to have it stamped and completed. The reason why the court actually gives out the SEFTA form is to confirm your banking details. Other people, there's so many stories about maintenance money being deposited into wrong accounts. So it's actually very important that you complete the SEFTA form and actually bring the original together with your application when you are lodging the application. So now you have your documentation, you've completed your form. What happens next? So you go to the clerk of the maintenance court, who will then take the original application. Please make sure that you have a copy of the application. Things get lost, things go missing, okay? Anything can happen. Make sure you have a copy of everything that you give to the court, all right? So that if maybe it's missing, if the original is missing, or maybe they can't find something in your file, then you can always refer to your copy, all right? So make sure that you make copies for yourself. Also, all right, so when you lodge the application with the clerk of the maintenance court, what happens is that they type in the information and they actually give you what we call a maintenance directive first. So that maintenance directive has the name of the court, your name, the father's name and their ID, where they reside or where they work, or where you would want the sheriff of the court to serve him with this maintenance directive. So the maintenance directive has the court date and the time and the list of documentation that the father must bring to court. So you have provided your financial papers. He must also provide his financial papers, and failure for him to do so is actually an offense. He can be fined and imprisoned if he doesn't follow the maintenance directive. It's going to be a long video. There's a lot to discuss. So drop a question below if you have further questions, but obviously I will do follow-up videos regarding the maintenance process. But for now, that is all that you need to know on how to apply for child maintenance at the maintenance court. Also, which court, oh yes, this is very important, which court do you go to? So you can't, for example, stay in Roodepoort, for example, and then lodge your application in Pretoria. No, you have to actually lodge the application where you reside and where the child resides. So if you live with your child in Roodepoort, fine, you can approach the Roodepoort maintenance court. If you are, however, working in Pretoria and living elsewhere, you can actually lodge an application where you work, and the child maybe stays in another area. That is fine according to the new Maintenance Amendment Act. But you can't apply for maintenance staying in Durban, for example, and your child stays in Cape Town with the grandmother and apply for maintenance there. And it's all over the place, you know. So it must actually be reasonable. If you are staying in Cape Town, it must be a thing that you always go back home to your child. You can't just dump your child somewhere and apply for maintenance court somewhere else, and the child is living with somebody very far away. It doesn't make sense. But each matter is determined on its merits and how jurisdiction is actually argued in court. But for now, that is all that you need to know, and I hope that this video helps you. And please do not be afraid to approach the maintenance court if the alleged parent is not supporting the child. It is not about you. It is the best interest of the child. It is not a matter of, oh, I can do this on my own, I don't need his money. The child needs that money. There's a lot that child can get from that money, and parents have the duty to support unless they have been exempted from supporting that child. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. Please do subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and share this video if you care. I'm telling you, it will help somebody in need. Yeah guys, and I'm telling you, the consistency is going to, you know, it's going to, every single day we're dropping a video, especially now in December. I told you there's some extra time, it's festive season. But yes guys, so you have to know your rights, and remember, this is not legal advice. Please, no, consult with your attorney if you want legal advice. All right, and stay safe guys, and thank you for tuning in once again. Bye.